Hi, I am Commissioner Valerie Espinoza under this mask, and I just want to welcome you to another edition of our program. It's entitled One on One. And with me today, I have a very dear friend by the name of Jennifer Manzanares, who's running for the Santa Fe County Treasurer position. And it has been such a pleasure, first of all, to get to know Jennifer over the years. She's always worked in higher offices, and I'm going to let her tell you all about that. But we're doing things differently today. As you can tell, we're required to wear our masks, and I haven't done a program during the COVID, and I sure miss seeing Doreen and everyone at the college. And so I'd like to let the audience know that if you'd like to appear on this program, feel free to call me at the office or on my cell phone, and I'll be sure and give you that number later. But for now, we're going to go ahead and interview outside in the mountains here with this beautiful backdrop. I want to let the public know that during this time, I hope you are safe and well. And I also want to let you know that it has been such a pleasure for me to serve you over the last 8 years. I thank you for your continued support. And during this campaign season, I'm going to turn this over to our dear friend Jennifer, who's going to start off by telling us about her past and in setting up the interview so that you can see what she's capable of doing for you. So Jennifer, with that, Jennifer Manzanares, you know, I've always known you, and she's been a good mom, and she's worked on many programs, and there's something that I've got to say about you, and this mask is killing me, but I can't breathe, but you have always done well for your family. You've always put them first, and you've worked with drug programs. You've been appointed to commissions, and you do an exceptional job of looking out not only for yourself, your family, and the public. But why don't you start off there, and then we'll talk about your career.
Good morning, Commissioner. Buenos dias, le de Dios. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. And yes, to all of the above. I've served my community for over 20 years and have now taken a leap of faith, and I'm running for Santa Fe County Treasurer.
Wonderful. And you are there now, right?
I'm there now.
So let's talk about your background from the time you graduated, bring you to present, and why you want this job of Santa Fe County Treasurer.
Okay, well, from a very large family I came. I am from the northern part of Santa Fe County. I was born in the beautiful Española Valley, but I was raised in Pewaukee.
Ah, that makes two of us.
Beautiful valley. So education, I was a native daughter. I spent all my years at the Pewaukee Valley School District, graduated at Pewaukee, and very proudly went on to Northern New Mexico College to get an associate's degree in criminal justice.
Outstanding. That's what my granddaughter wants to get a degree in.
It was an excellent education. I still is my alma mater. I support them in any way I can. And
yes, you do. Through Mana del Norte, you help them with the scholarship funding for minority students. Is that right?
That's correct, and that's a passion of mine that I've been involved in since the 90s, thanks to the leadership of individuals in the community that saw education and leadership important for women.
So tell me more about your qualifications for this position. I know you work for Congressman Ben Ray Lujan. You've had a stellar employment history with very important leaders, and you're a leader yourself in the community. So let's hear all about that.
So going back to when I decided to leave the laboratory after 21 years, I spent many years.
You spent 21 years at the laboratory, Los Alamos.
Los Alamos National
You're
Labs.
not 21 yourself.
21 good years, and I say they raised me. But during that time, I was very fortunate. I was able to get my bachelor's degree at the College of Santa Fe.
And they paid for it like they did mine.
They did an awesome job of paying for my degree. So they, I thank them for that. The degree was in political science and secondary education, very different from what I was doing at the laboratory. So what I ended up doing was taking a position as an outreach campaign person for Senator Udall.
Outstanding. He's a fine individual, and along with Congressman Ben Ray.
A man of integrity, definitely. And so that fueled my passion, I think, more for serving my community. And Congressman Lujan was recently elected to the House of Representatives, and I was invited to be on his team, and I spent 8 years as a senior liaison. I did a lot of liaison work for the community.
That must have been a really exciting job. I think that, we look back to the time of Governor Richardson's campaign, and we all got to pitch in and do those kind of things and work as a contact between the constituents and the governor. So what was that like? So you resolved probably problems of all sorts, not just issues that relate to, oh, I'm having a difficult time paying my bills, and what can you set me up on a payment plan? What kind of constituent services did you work for both of them?
Well, Commissioner, you're absolutely right. It was the gamut of so many different areas I was able to cover. And so my assigned areas were Rio River County, Taos County, Santa Fe County, but the subject areas were dear to my heart. So I was able to cover natural resources, for example, Forest Service, land grants, acequias, you name it, cattle.
You've got a realm of experience of helping people. That must have been exciting.
It was exciting and very rewarding, because the one area that the congressman identified in me early on was my passion for people. And we were coming back one day from the beautiful Chimayo Valley doing an interview, I believe, with Barrios Unidos, and we talked about the opioid crisis and the importance of how the constituents were struggling with that, and families were dying. We're really
especially in northern New Mexico.
Such a high rate of overdose. So I was assigned the opioid area, substance abuse, mental health, and from there my passion got deeper into serving the community, and I went so far as to become a opioid outreach educator, showing how to reverse a person on Narcan, and did videos. I mean, I really lent my family to the cause.
Outstanding, and I respect you totally for that. I know you're just solid when it comes to working with families and helping them get out of those situations and providing them with resources. I remember you said you had some packets that you could deliver to the communities, and you asked me if I knew of any areas that needed it. I said perhaps Chama. I think you help them, you help everyone, and so I'm just really impressed with your career. I didn't realize you'd been at the lab 21 years. You beat me by 1 year. And so, and the rest of your career is just outstanding. It says a lot for you. And so, let's go back to the Santa Fe County Treasurer's Office, and it's been a very difficult time, and I'm very interested in knowing. I know the tax season has passed, and the payments are, they were due when, in May?
May 11th. After May 11th, they became delinquent. Yes.
Were you able to set up early sites, or not early sites, but sites where people could go pay their bills outside of Santa Fe proper, where, in the rural areas it's a little difficult for people to drive here with the parking situation? How did that work?
So I love that our office has a property tax outreach program. And so unfortunately, due to COVID hitting right at the time we were going to start the outreach, we didn't get out into the community for the spring outreach. So in the fall, it was very, very exciting to be in communities like Edgewood, Chimayo, El Dorado, areas that you're absolutely right. People didn't want to have to drive into town to pay their taxes. So when we take the outreach program to them, it's a huge benefit for them. They don't have to struggle with the parking. They just have to focus on paying their taxes, and that makes them very happy.
So what have you learned since you've been in charge as a deputy county treasurer? I know that there is a county college, and I'm sure you've attended that, because we have how many degrees from the county colleges, from supervising to public elected officials, and they have a great program for county elected officials. But what is your role as the deputy right now, and what kind of experience has that brought to you?
It's been a wonderful experience and a great learning for me to be able to, a curve that I knew I had in me to learn. And so that was a very exciting year when I was invited by Treasurer Varela to become his chief deputy. And so I've been able to learn a lot through the EDGE courses. That's been a very important piece of my experience with the office, in addition to participating in the Government Finance Officers Association, the GFOA, and the GIOA. And so everyday operations in the office, serving the customers, working with delinquent accounts, managing the staff and leading the staff more than managing, also working with the investment portfolio and the leadership at the county. Of course, we know post-COVID, that's going to look different. And so we'll see how the tax season went. I haven't been in the office. I've been busy working on the campaign, but I do look forward to seeing where we're at with delinquent accounts. I know people are struggling, so we need to reach into their communities and work with them.
I couldn't agree with you more, and pardon me for taking my mask off, but I can't breathe. And if you would like to, we're keeping our distance, and I would like to hear, because it's kind of hard when it's sort of muffled, but we're out in the open space here, and it's been interesting to listen to you talk about, the treasurer's office. We've got so many branches. When I was Santa Fe County clerk, we worked closely with the assessor and the treasurer to ensure we're on the same page with addresses and rural addressing, that sort of thing. And are you still doing that in collaboration with other county elected officials and offices?
Most definitely. That's really important to me. I just met with the assessor's office about a month before all the COVID crisis had hit, and exactly what you mentioned, Commissioner, we're going to start working together on correcting some of those addresses that we get the return mail. There's a better way to do the system and talk and work together. So I look forward to doing that with the clerk's office. Always interested in learning more from the commission on their priorities, so we can match the priorities to their constituents.
And that's very important, following their lead of what their needs are, because the commissioners, know most what the constituents also need. But you would also be very, I'm sure, assertive in finding ways to enhance the office and that sort of thing if you're in charge yourself.
I think a strong team within serves the public well. So I like the idea of professional development for the staff, and I always say looking for the opportunity to not have a job, rather a career. And so we have young employees that are excited, and we have employees that have been there 19 plus years. So that goes to show you that they made that a career versus a job. And I think that's important in today's workforce.
I agree. And Santa Fe County is a great place to work for and with. But and you have new offices, because I went to drop off my ballot and I couldn't find you. The building is under construction. Where are you all at right now?
It's a beautiful location, 100 Catron, and it serves the public so well because all of the departments are in the same place. So you have community service division upstairs. You have, of course, the assessor's office, the clerk's office, and the treasurer's office on the downstairs. We have IT in the same building. We have planning in the building. So it's just a great location, beautiful meeting space.
So Jennifer and I go way back, and I got to meet her when I was campaigning, and she, I'll let you talk a little bit about that.
Oh goodness, looking back 20 plus years, I remember sitting at the Pewaukee Fire Station, and they were doing a ribbon cutting, and I always wanted to be involved in the community. That was one of the passions I had when I was young and growing up. And I remember pushing a stroller, and there was an opportunity to meet you, and I said, "Hi, I'm Jen." You said, "Hi, I believe at the time you were still at the laboratory."
Yes, I was running in transition.
And you were going to run for county...
Was it commissioner? Probably. Or county clerk.
Could have been clerk, because at that point I held on and I said, okay, I'm going to learn.
It was clerk. I definitely remember.
And it was great to know, having seen your experience in the political world for years and years. So I've grown up with you,
yes.
learning the ropes, I would say, and pushing a stroller at times. And I'm still pushing a stroller, but that's okay. I'm enjoying every minute of it.
And that's right. And you're teaching your kids that you're setting the example, and you're a role model to them. And so, nobody's helped you along the way. You're kind of like me. We've done it on our own. There's not really been anybody there to, help you. So to say, you have your family support, but that's one thing. And it's just the self-motivation and interest in school and continuing to serve your town and your constituents in rural New Mexico. So I definitely admire that a lot about you. Yes, and we do go way back, and you've always just been, like I say, an example to your family, friends. I've seen you at Mana del Norte raising money, organizing that institution, and helping with young women get college educations and get their funding that they need, because it doesn't come cheap.
No, and that's a big part of my platform is education, leadership, and of course within our team, but also in the community. I think that example is very important. I was fortunate to become a Mana National Vice Chair 4 years ago. I'm on my second term, and that's been an opportunity to serve at the national level is really important to me. I think across the country, education, leadership, really developing a mentoring program for young Latina women. to aspire to do more with their lives. That's been huge for me.
Outstanding. And it's kind of a crazy world today. And speaking of students and education, I want to give a shout out to the graduating class of 2020. I mean, put yourself in their shoes, and it's a whole different world. And I feel bad for them, but we're all survivors, and we all get up and pull our bootstraps up and succeed regardless. And the biggest accomplishment is that they did get their diploma, graduate, and now's the next phase of their life. So congratulations to every school in the state of New Mexico, to every beautiful graduate out there. I've seen signs with pictures and mini parades, and I just totally give my heart and soul out to you, and congratulations. And so what do you think of the new way of learning these days? And then we're going to move on to when the election dates and early sites are. But I'm really wondering what your thoughts are on these kids that are transitioning in a different new way, first time ever.
Right, Kamisha. I think it's, like you said, it's a very unique time and unprecedented, as we hear. I was just spending some time with the parents to a senior who today they walk the line in Los Alamos every 5 minutes. But that's a huge accomplishment for that young man. And so the parades, I think, have been a way to accommodate some sort of celebration without violating the orders that we have at the time that we're in. And we do what we have to do, I think, in times like this.
I just thought of something. You used to be in the Fiesta Council, and you were the princesa or the reina or something. Tell us about that experience.
I was. So many years of history together. I was the reina de la Fiesta de Santa Fe in 1990. And unfortunately, because of COVID, my daughter was going to run for reina this year. She'll wait till next year, but it's been 30 years that I served as an ambassador for the city of Santa Fe.
Outstanding, and that's most notable, especially because this is our history, this is our home, and here we are outside in nature, and we're doing well considering the situation, and you're having to campaign in a very difficult season. And I don't know what that can be like, because that must be very hard for somebody like me who's used to talking to people, and I don't know how are you dealing with this COVID campaign information?
It's difficult, and I'd say it's difficult for all of the candidates. You can't do the traditional campaigning, the door-to-door, the canvassing. I miss talking to people, and so a lot of times on the telephone, people are very concerned about what's happening with the COVID crisis. So absentee ballot voting, early voting if possible, and of course there's the precautions with going out, but a very, very different experience for sure as a candidate.
So I'm pretty curious now, and there's a lot of misinformation because we don't have that, direct contact that we used to, and some people are old school like me, and we read the newspaper and we're not on social media much. So I'm wondering, how are they going to handle early day or same day voter? I guess the last day to vote, as my understanding, is May 30th. And so that is this Saturday. This will start airing tomorrow. But how is that going to work? Early day, do you have the early sites that people could show up if they haven't received their ballot? I know there's a lot of confusion also. So you have an absentee ballot that you finally get only after you complete your application for that ballot. Some people are still waiting around for that application, thinking that that's going to be their ballot, but that's not the case. And so we need a one-on-one here on what the deal is.
Right. So like you said, early voting ends on Saturday, and so right now I know some of the convenience centers here in town are at the rodeo grounds.
Okay.
There is one at the Christian Life up on Siringo. I know that in the north, Poake Satellite is also an early voting center.
Is that at the Pueblo itself? I saw the fire department signs. It's at the fire station?
Actually, they moved it across the street by the True Value. It's where you're able to get your dump permits.
Okay.
So it's in the strip mall area.
So in the past, you were able to vote, and I don't know about now, at any of those sites regardless. Let's say I'm on my way to Espanola, I live in Santa Fe, and I want to stop in Huaca. It looks like there's not very many people. Is it true? Do you know if you can still vote at any of those early sites?
Yes, my understanding is it's a convenience center for that reason, that they make it convenient for the voter. And so you're able just to pop in, place your vote regardless of where you're at in the county, as long as you're registered, and then you can go about your business.
I think if you have the information, it would be really helpful to the listeners in Santa Fe County to know where they can go vote on Election Day. And you can go vote from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and I would imagine you're going to have to wear your mask and take precautions, but I think it would be very much worth your time to get out and vote. I'm sure that there'll be, rules to allow people to the separation. So can you let us know where that might be at?
I can. I have all of these written out just for the convenience of the voter. And so the first location is at Christian Life Church, and that's at 121 Syringa Road. El Camino Real Academy at 2500 South Meadows Road. Galisteo Community Center, 35 Avenida Vieja. Glorieta Pass Fire Station, 366 Old Denver Highway. Gonzales Elementary School, that's a community school, 851 West Alameda Street. Nina Otero Community School, 5901 Herrera Road. Powaka Middle School, 1797 State Road 505. Salazar Elementary School, 1231 Apache Avenue. Santa Fe County Fair Building, 3229 Rodeo Road. Santa Fe County Fire Station at La Tierra, 6 Arroyo Calabazas Road. St. John's Methodist Church, 1200 Old Pecos Trail. Tezuka Elementary, 1555 Bishop's Lodge Road. Town of Edgewood Admin Office, 171A State Road 345. Tony E. Quintana Elementary, 20E Sombrillo Road, Highway 106. And finally, Turquoise Trail Charter Elementary School at 13A San Marcos School.
Outstanding. That's really valuable information because I really needed to know myself. And so, if there's anything that you have to say, I'm going to give you time to talk about you again and what you really want the people that are voting on Election Day to know about you and why you think they should support you and what you have to say to them and offer to them and what means the most to you during this time of COVID. And I know I threw a lot of questions out there for you, but you've got the time to talk about that.
Thank you, Commissioner. You said it well and very eloquently at the beginning of our conversation about I'm very much a family person and I'm native to this area. I know my community well. I know the needs of the community. I've served my community for many years. I come with federal experience. I have years at the laboratory. But most importantly, I value families and I value the need that we have to work with people, to work with individuals who are perhaps struggling with a delinquent tax, and we want to avoid them having to go into a homeless situation. And so I feel like I bring a lot of experience, I bring integrity, and I bring, like I said, just values that are deep in the community, and I'm very rooted. I love my community, nowhere else I want to be in the world, and I feel like I'm a very strong candidate with the experience I have as Chief Deputy Treasurer. So I'm excited to serve. I would love to earn the support of the voter, and I would love to be considered and earn that support.
And tell me if somebody's watching and wants to reach out to you and talk to you and ask you some questions about, the position, what is a number they can reach you at?
I've got a great website that shares a lot about myself and some of the endorsements. I'm very fortunate. I just received a message today that the Firefighters Union has endorsed me, so I'm very proud because they're on the front line. And with the COVID, I very much honor that they considered me to be their candidate of choice. And Fraternal Order of Police, I have the endorsement of the current treasurer, and I've got a dear friend, Teresa Tapia, who's also advocating for her community, and today's the anniversary of her husband's death, and through her sadness, she's giving back. So that's the circle I like to surround myself with. And to find all of these endorsements I've shared, votejen2020.com. I'm also on Facebook as VoteJen2020, and so it's super easy. I'm on Gmail, votejen2020@gmail.com. Kept it super easy for anyone to remember. And I'm also available by cell phone if anyone needs to get me. It's all on the website. And so, again, I'm here to serve, and I'm humbled. I'm humbled to be a candidate.
Outstanding. I'm really impressed with your background, your education, your years of service at the lab. And you don't look like you're old enough to have done all that, but I really wish you well. I think you'll be an ideal treasurer, and that office has how many employees, and what are each of those employees, I shouldn't say each of them, but most of them, what is their key core job description?
So we have 14 staff, and we start with our cashiers, which I say all the time, you're the most important.
Yeah, they're the front line.
They're the front line, and when the COVID started surfacing, I was concerned about their safety. So to me, it's about safety within the team, and I think that they're right there. They serve the customer and the public. We have delinquent tax specialists that work with the delinquent accounts. We have an accountant. We have administrative assistants. We have an office manager. So a very solid team and a very hardworking team. And I just appreciate everything they do. We have mobile home specialists that work with the mobile homes that become delinquent. Generally, it's a delinquent team. But like I said, everyone works well together to make sure that we serve the public.
I sure remember a lot of the staff, and they're all great people at the county. I truly remember, upstairs, downstairs, and every department within, including the land use, and all those people devote their hard work to their positions. So again, hats off to you for wanting to do this job. We wish you and all the other candidates that are running for positions during this time. It's a very difficult time, and politics can get hard and difficult on the candidate. It's always crunch time, but this makes it a much harder way to campaign. I just can't imagine how you would do it. I mean, in rural New Mexico, you can shout out at your neighbors and say, hey, I need your vote. But during this time, we can't really be together, and that's pretty sad. But like they say, we're all in it together. And it has been a pleasure interviewing you, Jennifer Manzanares. And Election Day is Tuesday. She just gave you the early sites, or not the early sites and the same day I'm used to saying same day voter registration, but I'm saying in-person voting are the dates not the dates, but the locations you just listed. So anyhow, again, thank you. And I've got to thank the college. I've been doing this program probably 20 years that I can remember at least. And we decided today we're going to continue to do this. I will have more time in January to do more programs. If anybody would like to interview, again, just please call me. And like Jen said, our numbers are on the website. And so, again, we wish the families, the graduates well, and hope that, you're not, suffering too much. I mean, I'm always busy, so there's never a dull moment. And in fact, today I'm going to run in and out and get some things done and some emails, and I'm sure you do the same.
Every day, Commissioner.
Every day we have to work from home, and it is kind of nice. What are we going to do? We don't need to buy any more clothes, right? We're already set. And so again, I want to use this time to say thank you for allowing me to serve you over the last several years, first as your county clerk at the County of Santa Fe, and now as your Public Regulation Commissioner. I have always done, and I know you will too, what is in the best interest of the public. No fibs, no lies, just honest, solid, passionate service to all of my constituents, not only in my district, but throughout the state. I've always looked out for, water, ambulance, transportation, just anything and everything to protect your pocketbooks, and I will continue to do that until I transfer into my next phase of career. But this time is mainly for Jennifer, and I just wanted to give you the opportunity to let the people in Santa Fe know how long you've been at this and what you offer. So with that, I think we have a couple seconds left to close, and your last words.
Well, thank you, Commissioner. Again, I'm humbled, I'm honored. Thank you, Santa Fe Community College. So much value in education, and I would be honored to have the support of Santa Fe County to serve as the next Santa Fe County Treasurer.
And isn't this a beautiful location to do it? Outside where I can see some apricots growing, and we might have to pick some green apricots like we did back home in the north. We grew up around apricot trees, and had I known these were here all along, I'd probably come back and get some more.
They survive.
Anyhow, again, thank you to Doreen and everyone at the community college. I'm getting eaten by ants, and they're crawling up all over my legs. We've never done this. This is kind of fun, and it's been good. So thank you, and we've never done this standing up either. So hey, you're the first.
We're the first.
We can try this again in the future, Doreen, and best of luck with the COVID. And I hope you stay safe and away from this deadly disease. And thank you.